Hello, my students. Well, Easter finished and here we are, going on our lessons. As you know, I told you that the certificate exams have been delayed, but take into account that maybe at the end, at the end of June or maybe July, then we have to go on working. So let's go on our class, and today we are going to go on Unit 8B. Remember that we finished because I told you that I would like today to deal with altogether complaining and reading and listening exercises. So, everybody, we are Unit 8B. Open your books on page 134, and we are going to deal with a very important reading comprehension regarding complaining, and it said to go extra mile. I'm going to explain to you what does this title means. So let's start. Of course, come on. Here it is. I'm going to show you what I prepared for today's. Well, you have here the unit we are on page, everybody, 134. The reading means going extra mile. What does this sentence mean? Going extra mile means that a person who goes extra mile is that it's a person who makes a special effort to help somebody. Hace un esfuerzo para ayudar a alguien. Go extra mile. Hacer un esfuerzo. For example, I know that if I'm the manager of a company and I know that I have in the staff a very hardworking employee, then I know that this person is going extra mile because it's making a great effort. Everybody is living a very difficult time, the confinement, coronavirus. Then I think that everybody in our society is going extra mile. This could be a very good sentence put into context. So, this is the reading, and it says, read introduction to the article. Well, why is good customer service? We're going to talk about the importance of customer services, a customer, cliente, servicio de atención al cliente, more important than it used to be. Then I'm going to read introduction, and we can talk about the answer of this question, or we can think about what could we say. So it starts. In the age of social media, a story about a good or bad customer service experience is not limited to you and your friends. The best stories can go viral on social networks very quickly, bringing good and bad publicity to companies overnight. Here are 5 heartwarming true stories that reach millions of people because of the power of the internet. Well, I think that you already know the answer. Why is good customer service more important? Because of the power of the internet. Everything is connected, is linked, and you can know about a good or a bad customer service overnight. What does overnight means? Well, literally it means durante la noche, but in this context, bringing good or bad publicity to companies overnight, de la noche a la mañana, instantly, it's very quick. We are living in a society in which technology is very important, and internet is so quickly that both good and bad news can be communicated, can be transmitted overnight, instantly, very quickly. Well, here you have, as you can see, 5 stories. We have A. Nordstrom, B. Morton's, the steakhouse, different places. You have seen Ritz-Carlton's hotels, the Trader Joe's, and Apple. They are different companies, different services. Well, I'm going to read, then you can listen and read at the same time. But there's a problem in each paragraph. It has missing information. While we are reading, you have to try to guess how the last sentence of each story ends. How the last sentence of each story ends. By context, we can know how it can finish. So, all together, let's read at the same time, read and think. Yeah, how, in your opinion, could this finish? Each paragraph ends. Then we start with a Nordstrom. One day we are here, yeah. One day, a member of the security staff in a Nordstrom department store noticed a woman crawling around on her hands and knees in the clothes department. She said she was looking for a diamond that had fallen out of her wedding ring while she was trying on clothes earlier that day. The man got down on the floor and searched with her. Then he asked a group of cleaners to help, and they searched too. Finally, they looked through. Well, what do you think could be the ending of the story? Important vocabulary, I think. Notice es observar, and crawl es ir a gatas. Crawling around on her hands and knees, and agachenollons. Crawl, snake, ¿qué hacen las serpientes? Reptar. Reptar, ir por el suelo. Crawl, very important vocabulary. Well, she had lost a diamond for her wedding ring, and she went back to search for it. Then think about the ending. Do you think it's a good or a bad, a happy or a sad ending? Well, let's listen and read B. Morton's The Steakhouse. Peter Sandman was boarding a flight to Newark Airport near New York. It was dinner time, and he knew he would be starving when the plane arrived. There's a Morton's near the airport, one of Peter's favorite restaurants, so he tweeted, "Hi, at Morton's. Can you meet me at Newark Airport with a steak when I land in 2 hours? Thanks." He was joking, but amazingly, he got off the plane. In the arrivals area, there was, wow. He tweeted because he loved steak, un bistecco. He was joking, the broma, but he got off the plane. In the arrivals area, there was, what was there? Think about the ending. Now, the third paragraph. What happened at Ritz-Carlton hotels? Well, Chris Horn's family spent their holiday at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Florida. Unfortunately, when they got home, they realized that they had left Chris's young son's favorite toy, Yoshi the giraffe, at the hotel. The child was very upset, so Chris told him that Josie was staying at the hotel for a bit of extra holiday. That evening, the hotel phoned to say that they had found Josie. Chris thanked them and explained that he told his son that Josie was having an extra holiday. 2 days later, a parcel arrived, and it was Josie, a present of a frisbee and a football, and a photograph of, well, a parcel is something that is sent by mail, un paquete, un envío por correo, a parcel. What was it? There was Josie, a present of a frisbee, and a football, and a photograph of, well, think about what was it? Paragraph D. Trader Joe's. At Christmas a few years ago, in Pennsylvania, USA, it snowed so hard that an 89-year-old man couldn't leave his home. His daughter was worried that he didn't have enough food. She called several stores and asked if they would deliver food to her father's home, but they all said no. Eventually, she spoke to someone at a store called Trader Joe's. They also told her that they didn't deliver normally, but because she was so worried, they said that they would make an exception. The employee then wished her a Merry Christmas. Half an hour later, the food arrived at her father's house with, what do you think? They were very polite. They were doing a favor. Well, and the last one, what happened in Apple? A man bought the latest iPad online, but when his wife saw it, she thought it was too expensive. So he immediately sent it back to Apple. He put a post-it note on the screen that said, "Wife said no." Apple employees thought this was very funny, and the story reached two senior managers, who decided to do something about it. They refunded his money, but they also sent the iPad back to him with another post-it note saying, "Oh my God, what do you think?" The Apple managers who decided to send. He sent a post-it saying the explanation why. He sent it back. Wife said no. What do you think these managers wrote down in the post-it note? Well, I'm going to discover. The answers is on page 181. And we are going to know if you had guessed or not. Then the question is, how does each paragraph end? Here it is. Yeah, this is in your book on page 181. Going the extra mile. Paragraph A, Nordstrom, the airport story. Finally, they looked through all the dirt in their vacuum cleaners and found the woman's diamond. Wow, very good. They did great work. The vacuum cleaners, all the dirt, la suciedad en la aspiradora, vacuum cleaners, yeah, and found the woman's diamond. Very polite, very helpful they were. B, about Morton's steakhouse, the person who was joking about having a steak, then he was joking, but amazingly, when he got off the plane in the arrivals area, there was, well, a Morton's waiter with a bag that contained a steak, potatoes, bread, napkins, and a knife and fork, and it was all free. English people tend to do this, yeah. The companies tend to do this with the customers. Very important. He was joking, but he was served with that. About the hotel, well, this is Josie, a present of a frisbee, yeah. Ritz-Carlton hotels, in it was Josie, a present of the frisbee, and a football, and a photograph of Josie by the hotel pool. Imagine how helpful and how polite they were. The Trader Joe's, The ending is here. Half an hour later, the food arrived at her father's house with a note saying that it was free. Imagine, they were very helpful, and apart from that, they didn't want them to pay for it. It was free. And the apple, I was very curious about how did this story ended, because Apple is a very big company, a very important one, and I couldn't imagine what could be the end of this. Well, Apple, very important. After the post-it note, they refunded his money. Remember that a refund is when you want your money back. You want your money back, then you have a refund. Very important. And they also sent the iPad and another post-it. Well, then Apple said yes. Then your wife said no, but Apple said yes. Then you had refunded your money, and apart from that, a free iPod. Very good, very good, very good. So, this was the answer, and you could see the importance of how a customer service could be. So, now, deal with another important one. Now, you have different stories and different things happened. For example, it says, read the stories again, and in which stories, well, number one, in which story does someone get what they wanted to buy without paying? Then there are 1, 2, 3 stories in which they get what they wanted, and moreover, it was free. They didn't have to pay. Then, in which stories someone gets something in the post? Number 3, in 2 stories, someone is hungry. And in which stories the problem solved on the same day? They have a problem and on the same day. Well, pause the video, please. Read it again and complete the exercise, because after the pausing, I'm going to deal with the keys. And here you have the keys. Then in paragraph B, in the Morton's the Steakhouse, paragraph D, Trader Joe's, and E, Apple. These stories, they got what they wanted to buy without paying. 2. In paragraph C, at the hotel, Ritz-Carlton Hotel, and E, Apple, then they got something in the post. One was the giraffe, and the other one a post-it with a new iPad. 3. Who was hungry? Well, in paragraph B, Peter Shankman was on the plane and was hungry. And D, there was an old man who was hungry at Christmas. And 4, the problem solved on the same day. It was A, Nordstrom. They found the diamond. Then B, at the arrivals area. And D, Apple, Trader Joe, the same day, half an hour later, the food arrived. Very important. Well, in this reading, you had very important vocabulary. You have airline, bargain, certain, claim, complain, contain, email, explain, paid, repair, waiter. And this is the letters AI pronunciation. How this cluster could be pronounced. These letters can be pronounced with the diphthong A, claim, complain, contain, email, explain, paid, waiter. Well, it could be also pronounced with the diphthong ea, like chair, ea. We have airline, fare, hair, repair. And also it could be pronounced with the schwa a. With the schwa a. Then it could be, for example, wagen and certain. Remember that the pronunciation is here. Here is the schwa, wagen, uncertain. Because schwa can never be stressed. Nunca podemos acentuar la sílaba en la que está la schwa. La schwa siempre es, nunca se acentúa. Entonces aquí la schwa a. Entonces será wagen, uncertain. This is the pronunciation of the words, the vocabulary that appeared in the reading comprehension. Well, what do we have to do now? I'm going to tell you. By means of this reading, you have important vocabulary relating complaining, not complaining, is dealing with customer service, the importance of customer service. Because we are going to end up, not today, on Thursday, when you don't agree, when you don't like how the customer service attended or assist your, if they were helpful or not, we can complain. If we don't like the way a customer service did the work or try or not to resolve your problems, we can complain. Will be dealt next Thursday. But to introduce this, we are going to start with the listening. In the listening, you have different ways of going on these things. If you agree or not, if certain companies do their work well or not, if you are happy or not, or if you are helpful to your customers or not. So now I'm going to play a video, listening, sorry, and we're going to deal with this. I'm going to play it. And here it is. Listening. Yeah. Well, the listening is on page number 135. Yeah. And the question, I think that everybody has experienced this. Because if we travel, if we are used to traveling, it's very common. And it starts with saying, have you ever had a problem with luggage when you were traveling? For example, on a train or flight? What happened? It's very common. You didn't have to, but it's very common. Then we are going to listen to a story about bad customer service. We, as society, should complain when we don't like the way the customer service solve our problems. Then, first of all, we're going to listen only to 6 extracts. Listen to 6 extracts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extracts. And complete the gaps with the verbs in the list. These verbs are very important to start with listening. We have claim, complain, contacted, dropped, offered, produced, reported, and showing. Then you have to listen to the tracks and fill in the blanks. For example, fill in the gaps. Number 1, my God, there are guitars out there. Well, I think that everybody has seen that when you are on the plane. 2. They immediately choose United Airlines. Number 3. For 9 months, he tried to compensation. Number 4. They wrote a song about his experience and a video to go with it. Number 5. United Airlines, they and him a payment. And the last one, number 6. The BBC that United Airlines share price had by 10%. Then, now, listen and please fill in the gaps with these words.
(8.18) 1.
My God, they're throwing guitars out there.
2.
They immediately complained to United Airlines.
3.
For 9 months, he tried to claim compensation.
4.
Dave wrote a song about his experience and produced a video to go with it.
5.
United Airlines contacted Dave and offered him a payment.
6.
The BBC reported that United Airlines' share price had dropped by 10%.
Well, we're going to see now how was it. You can pause the video, you can rewind the video and listen again the times you need. And now we are going to correct. Well, number 1, my God, they are, of course, they are throwing. They are throwing guitars out there. Yeah, sometimes you see how they treat your luggage, and you are on the plane and you are, oh my God, my luggage. Yeah. Number 2, they immediately, very good, complained. They immediately complained to United Airlines. Yeah. Number 3, for 9 months, he tried to, what do you think? Claim, yeah, compensation. Querían pedir con la compensación. Number 4, Dave wrote a song about his experience and a video. What did he do? Very good. He produced a video, yeah, to go with it. Well, number 5. United Airlines, Dave, and him a payment. The number 5, yeah, United Airlines contacted Dave and offered him a payment. And the last one, what do you think? The BBC reported that informaron that United Airlines share price had dropped, había caído. Yeah, of course, because of the bad service. Then the BBC reported that United Airlines share price had dropped by 10%. Very good. Well, then this is a story about when something bad happened What can we do? We can claim, we can complain, we can contact, we can offer or ask for compensation. Well, now, what do you have to do? Now we move on. Listen to the whole story. Well, the first one says, now listen to the whole story, answer the question. First of all, number one, why did Dave Carroll write a song? Number two, why did it have such a dramatic effect? The second time you listen to, here you have different events that we have to listen and put these events into the correct, then try to put the events in the correct order as it is told. The first one is this. How does this story start? Well, number one, Dave and his band flew from Halifax to Chicago. And the last one, then the story ends like this, number 10. United Airlines lost a lot of money. Of course, after the bad service. Now, listen and take into account these questions and try to put these events into the correct order. Well, now.
8.19.
Hello and welcome to How's Business. Today we're going to look at how social media can affect businesses. And I'd like to start with the story of Dave Carroll, an American singer-songwriter who had a very bad experience with United Airlines. Dave and his band were flying with United Airlines from Halifax in Nova Scotia to Omaha in Nebraska, with a stopover in Chicago. As they were waiting to get off the plane in Chicago, they heard another passenger say, "My God, they're throwing guitars out there." As Dave and the other band members looked out of the plane window, they were horrified to see that the baggage handlers, who were taking the luggage off the plane, were throwing the band's guitars to each other. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. They immediately complained to United Airlines employees in Chicago, but nobody listened to them. When they arrived in Omaha, Dave discovered that the neck of his very expensive Taylor guitar had been broken. It cost him $1,200 to get it repaired. For 9 months, he tried to claim compensation from United Airlines. He phoned and emailed their offices in Halifax, Chicago, and New York without success. In the end, he even suggested that instead of money, they could give him $1,200 of flight tickets. But after all his complaints and suggestions, United simply said no. So, what else could a singer-songwriter do? Dave wrote a song about his experience and produced a music video to go with it. The song was called United Breaks Guitars.
United Airlines on my way to Nebraska. The plane departed Halifax, connecting in Chicago's O'Hare.
He posted it on YouTube, and it was a huge hit. The song reached #1 on the iTunes Music Store within a week, and the video has had over 16 million views. After 150,000 views, United Airlines contacted Dave and offered him a payment if he agreed to take the video off YouTube. He refused and suggested they gave the money to charity. Of course, the impact of Dave's song went far beyond YouTube. Soon, newspapers, websites, TV and radio stations all over North America were doing stories about the song. Dave was interviewed on many radio and TV shows where, of course, he retold the story of how United breaks guitars. He did over 200 interviews in the first 3 months. Dave Carroll's favorite guitar was broken, but in the end, United Airlines were the bigger losers. After the video had gone viral, the BBC reported that United Airlines' share price had dropped by 10% within 4 weeks of the release of the video, which means that the company lost an incredible $180 million. It would have been much cheaper to repair Dave's guitar.
Yeah, United breaks guitars.
Well, how was it? As always, please, if you need another time, then rewind. You can rewind and then you can listen to it the times you need. Then if you can't now to answer the questions or put events into the correct order, rewind the video and listen again. Well, now, let's correct. Why did you think that Dave Carroll write a song? And I could write it here, then you can see it better. Well, so I think, and as you could, the purpose of writing down the song was to complain. Very important verb, complain, queixarse, hacer una queixa formal, and the preposition is about. Yeah? To complain about the experience he and his band had had with United Airlines. It was a purpose, a good way of complaining. And number two, why? Number two was the question, why did it have such a dramatic effect? Well, because the video, of course, when things go on the internet very fast, and the video went viral. To go viral, se convirtió viral, yeah, viral. Because the video went viral on YouTube. And you know that when you do YouTube, something go viral is very important to take into account, to take notice on that. And of course, was watched, we are using passive voice, yeah, was watched by millions of people. Because it's viral. Who find out, averiguar, found out about United Airlines bad customer service. And it is very bad for a company. To know that a company has a very bad customer service, it's a problem. And it also says that the share drop. Share es el capital, les accions invertissem, then drop, baixaren de repente. This is the problem with a bad customer service, and if this is on YouTube or on the internet, it goes viral, and it's a problem because it has a very bad opinion. It has very bad opinions. So then to complain was the purpose about experience, and because the video went viral on YouTube, and everybody knew about the bad customer service in United Airlines. So now let's correct about the order of the events. How did this story start? Well, number one, Dave and his band flew from Halifax to Chicago. Number two, they saw the baggage handlers throwing their guitars and complained to airline staff. Throwing the guitars, no care about these things. Number three, they got their connecting flight to Omaha, Nebraska. Now, number 4, Dave discovered that his guitar was broken. He found it out, it was broken, and it was because of the bad treatment, the bad use of it, the bad service. Number 5, he complained again to United Airlines by phone and email, but they didn't help him. Number 6, he wrote a song about his experience. Number 7, after that, he put a video of the song on YouTube. Then, number 8, United Airlines, of course, now contacted him and offered him money. Number 9, he did lots of media interviews. And the last one, United Airlines, of course, lost a lot of money. Then companies should take into account their customers' opinions. Very important this. Well, in this reading, we have very important vocabulary. And I would like you to focus on page 135, number 7, vocabulary. We are going to learn how do we make nouns from verbs. We have here important nouns that appear on the listening. We have compensation, compensación económica, complaint, una queja formal, complaint, and payment, un pago, un pagamento. What verbs do you think come from? What do you think? Oh my God, it's going to move all of this. How can you do this? Here it is. Not happening. Compensation. The verb is compensate. On compensate, this is compensation. Yeah? Trying to write it here, but I don't know why. Now, here it is. Well, so, compensate, compensation. The verb, what do you think is the verb? For complaint is a noun. Very good. The verb is to complain, and normally it's complain about something. Quejarse is complain. Then we have from compensate, we have compensation. From complain, we have complaint. And the last one, oh my God, it doesn't work here. Well, I'm going to write it here. Of course, from pay, we have payment. Then we have this, complain. I don't know why it doesn't work now. I want it here. Very good, Sonia. Now, complain. The noun is complaint. Compensate. We have compensation. And we have more or less this. So, then we have compensate, compensation. We have here the first suffix we need to make nouns from verbs. The verb complain is complaint, but here, as you can notice, there are no suffix. There is no suffix. It's a new word. And the last one, you have here pay. The verb is pay, and the noun is payment. And we have another suffix to make nouns. Then, from compensate, we have compensation with the suffix ation. Complain, we don't have suffix, we have a new word. And from the verb pay, we have payment. So, what's the theory? This is the grammar explanation, the word formation explanation. To make nouns from verbs, we can follow three common patterns. The first one, we take the verb, and we have to add the suffix ation. Compensate, compensation. Number two, we take the verb and we add the suffix ment. Pay, payment. And the third option is that we take the verb and we have to make it into a new word. Here we cannot add a suffix, we have to create a new word. So, what do you have to do now? On page 238, you have the vocabulary bank. Let's go, everybody, on page 238, the vocabulary bank regards to word building. Here you have word building, making nouns from verbs. Here you have the three patterns: ation, ment, and new word. The three different ways in which we can make nouns from verbs. Then, now, I'm going to explain what to do, and you have to do this for next Thursday. The verbs, very important ones, are the following. You have achieve, conseguir, agree, attach, choose, compensate, complain, consider, deliver, demonstrate, explain, fail, improve, lose, manage, pay, respond, sell, serve, succeed, tempt, treat, and value. Then, please take these verbs and try to put each one, depending on the suffix of a new word, in each column. For example, the first one has been done for you. Achieve, well, achievement. I need to add suffix ment, and this is for homework. And the second exercise to do is, here you have different questions with the noun. You have to use it from a noun you have formed in the singular or plural, depending on the context. For example, number one, have you ever been on a demonstration? Demonstration is a noun from the verb demonstrate. You want to demonstrate something, you go on a demonstration. Be or go on a demonstration is una manifestación. Then, have you ever been on a demonstration? What were you protesting about? When you go or when you are on a demonstration, it's that you want to protest about something. You understand? Then, this is your homework. You have to correct the correct column, make nouns from the verbs in the correct column, and once you have done it, try to complete these 7 questions using the nouns. Then do it for homework and we'll correct it next Thursday. Very important is for next Thursday. Then, I think it's clear enough. Yeah, it's clear enough when we deal with it. You had reading and the listening about good. We started with the reading, all of them were good customer service, and the listening dealt with a bad customer service. After a bad customer service, what we have to do is to complain. So, for homework, as I said before, you have to make nouns from verbs, because you have very important verbs and nouns that are going to help you to complain. What are we going to do next Thursday? In the next class, we're going to correct this word building homework. Then we have the vocabulary you'll need to complain. I'm going to explain next class how do we complain. How do you write? How could you write a complaining email or complaining letter? Very important vocabulary, structure, and as always, improving on our writing. So let's do that and see you next Thursday. Bye bye, and as always, take care.